John Hamm, of course, gave us Mad Men. He's among a group of A-listers who came together on Saturday. Online poker tournament. I tune in and I go, wait, John Hamm's already out. I think he was the second guy out and then he bought back in. It's All In for America's charity to raise money for Feeding America, and thought that they did a wonderful job with that. Are you any good at poker, John?
Apparently not, Dan.
You were being generous. Were you trying to be generous by buying back in so you could play?
Yeah, no, I can't remember what I left out on the first hand on, but it was one of those deals where you're like, oh, well, here we are. Whoops. And, it's a testament to the guys that actually play that game for a living, that can sit there for hours. And Kevin Pollak actually ended up, I think, coming in second. And I ended up watching the rest of the tournament. It was pretty cool. But I was like, Pollak, you're just way more patient than I am because I want the action.
Well, can't you act like a good poker player?
Yeah, when somebody writes in the script that I get all the cool cards.
Well, like Matt Damon,
awesome.
Matt Damon in Rounders.
Exactly. When when somebody writes down that he knows all the cards and he's a savant, yeah, of course. I'd be way better at it.
Who else was at the table with you that you found to be tough competition?
Who did I have at my table? I had Pollak for a certain point. I had Andy Milonakis. I had a bunch. I didn't have anything that I really knew very well. Like Sarah Silverman was playing in it. Ben and Matt were both playing. I know both those guys, but I didn't really have anybody that I knew at my tables. And then everyone's under like pseudonyms, so I couldn't quite figure out who was who either. But it was still. I think I had Jimmy Kimmel's cousin Sal also there. So was
Tom Brady involved?
Brady was there. He didn't last very long either. So I'm in good company. All the good guys busted out early. That's all I'm saying.
Who's your best friend in Hollywood?
Good question. I think you wouldn't know him, but maybe you've met him actually at a Super Bowl or something. But probably my best friend is this guy who goes by the name of Tall John, because he's 6'10". He actually lives literally down the block from me, and we've been buds since like 1992. When I came out here on spring break from the University of Missouri and visited some friends.
But you don't hang with, do you hang with other, like I don't hang with other sportscasters. Do you hang with other actors?
Not really. I hang with my friends, like my normal, like people that are that I've known, it's just one of those things.
What is the scene at home? Do you have a man cave? And we lost.
Yeah, and in fact,
there.
I would. Nope, over there.
Okay.
I got my office is kind of where I spend the majority of my hours, which I'm in right now, my waking hours in my house, and I have pictures of my old dog. I've got my various and sundry awards. I've got my thing that I've collected over the years, which is a tribute to Stan Musial, which is a bass that was signed by him and one of his bats.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I've got my my collected pictures and memorabilia and baseballs and things like that I've had over the years. So that's pretty much that's where I essentially spend my, no joke, especially now, we're going to go with about 18 hours a day in there.
All right, you might get mad at me, but in full disclosure here, I got all of the DVDs for Mad Men. Somebody sent it in, and the reason why she sent it in is because I've never watched an episode of Mad Men. Are you mad?
You, sir, have some homework to do.
Are you a mad man at me not watching Mad Men?
No, I think that you're a busy guy. I don't see why that's. Why would I be mad at that? You've got stuff to do. I'll be honest with you. I only watched about 70% of the stuff with you and Keith Olbermann. So
Okay, that's fair, and that's fair. But you get it at some point. I've never watched The Sopranos. I didn't watch Game of Thrones. I waited 5 years to watch The Wire. I waited 10 years to watch Breaking Bad. I think I'm getting ready for Mad Men.
I think you're ready. It took me 5 years for The Wire. I was very late for that one. I was in due time with The Sopranos and Breaking Bad. But there's stuff that hey, sometimes they miss the boat. It's how it goes. There's too much TV. This is what's happening now. There's too much.
Give me the episode of Mad Men that you say, if you're only going to watch one, for God's sakes, watch this episode.
Well, it's hard because, the show is so established on character building, and you have to know the characters. And so some of the later episodes that are really dependent on that are that's the bigger thing, is that if you've sat with these guys for a while, these things have a little more resonance. But if I were to say one episode of the show, there's an episode in season 4. Actually, the whole season 4 is pretty great. But season 4 called The Suitcase, which is kind of a little bottle episode with Don and Peggy, where they get locked in trying to figure out an ad campaign for Samsonite, of all things, which just reminds me of Dumb and Dumber every time I say it. But it's a really good episode, and a lot of things happen with those, especially those two characters. And it's for my money, that's my favorite episode of the show.
Now, my guy said there's a lot of drinking in that episode. What is the actual beverage that they give you to drink?
Weirdly enough, it's weak, sort of diluted tea, because that looks the most like whiskey.
Yeah.
They make iced tea and then they just pour it into your glass, and so you're just caffeinated the whole day.
How difficult is it to act drunk?
Way easier than actually being drunk. Because there's no residual after effect.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. I think somebody had said, I don't know who it was, Dean Martin or somebody back in the day, but somebody said that the best rule for acting drunk is that every drunk person doesn't want to look like they're drunk, right? So every person that's actually drunk thinks they're not.
Yes.
So that's the best way to think about it.
He's Jon Hamm. He starred in Mad Men. He won a couple of Golden Globes, I believe, for that. And also, he took part in a charity poker event, All In for America's Charity, to raise money. It was an online poker tournament for Feeding America. A couple of things here. Top Gun, is that done? And what's your role in Top Gun?
That is done. We finished shooting that last July, maybe. It's coming out. It was meant to come out this summer, but now we are in the Upside Down, so that's not happening. It's going to come out, I think, Christmas. They moved it. My character's call sign is Cyclone. I play Tom Cruise's superior officer who, believe it or not, Tom's got some problems with authority. Maverick doesn't want to play by the rules.
He didn't want to play by the rules when the original came out.
I believe his ego was writing checks his body can't cash.
Yeah, but his nickname is Maverick. What do you expect him to be? He's not going to be compliant.
It's baked in. His call sign isn't rule follower.
He's Maverick. Also, is there a cheesy line that we'll take out of Top Gun?
If there is, I don't have it, but there might be.
Oh, okay.
I don't really have a good quotable one that I can think of.
So like the
but
need
I'm
for
sure-
speed and things like that.
I'm sure that there is. Chris McQuarrie co-wrote the script, and they were all very, very aware and cognizant of kind of the legacy of Top Gun. So I'm pleased as punch with it. I've seen of it. It's so good, and the kind of, obviously the original was made in 1986.
Yeah.
The technology now with cameras and HD and K whatever technology is all so much better, and just the flying sequences alone are phenomenal. Like, oh my God, this is so cool.
I also wanted to compliment you on playing Larry David on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Did you ever think that I would, somebody would compliment you on, hey, and by the way you played Larry David
You were
was
great, Larry David.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not a long list of, let me see De Niro do that.
How many Larry Davids have we seen? No, I've known Larry for some time. Larry and I worked together a couple of years back on a movie called Clear History, which we shot in Boston, and we got to know each other because he found out I played golf. And if you know Larry, playing golf, and so we were sitting in Boston for a month and a half shooting this movie, and he's got a bunch of cronies there that he loves playing golf with, and I got to with those guys. So I basically got to be part of Larry David's crew for a month and a half, and win and lose hundreds of dollars on the golf course. So it was pretty fun.
Yeah, that episode was great. It's great to check in with you, John. I'm glad you're doing well, and keep in touch. We appreciate you joining us.
Likewise, Dan. I mean, it's here we are with. I literally watched the 1982 World Series last night because that's what was on, and we're in a world of retro sports. It feels like I should fire up my old Nintendo gaming system and we'll play some RBI baseball or something, or some Tecmo Bowl.
I like that.
But it's here we are. It's just the strangest thing, but obviously it's all done for the right reasons, and we're doing this thing to stay healthy and stay safe. But man, oh man, it's pretty funky to have a summer without sports.
I know, and imagine having a job where 3 hours a day you're supposed to be talking about it. But that's where we appreciate people like you coming in and filling in some time.
Dan, that's why I'm here.
Thank you. I'm sure that I'm going to get around to Mad Men, John. I promise I will.
Thank you. By the way, call me anytime. I'll pipe in. I'll kill 10 minutes of the show.
Thank you, John. John Hamm, Mad Men.